Where is JDM? Where does he fit? Where does he give, or better yet, where does he give Islam a fit? Striking? Grappling? Submissions? Takedown defense? Takedowns. I don't see a Kush. I see total dominance from my brother, Islam Makhachev.
I have to go with Islam, man. I think he's still at a level above everybody else. Yeah, but I really like JDM's movement. His wrestling, his boxing is very, very good. Yeah.
It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam's going to bring. Because I do think, even the stand-up battle against Poirier does hit hard, because I witnessed that and felt it firsthand. But there's no way he hits as hard as JDM. So I think it'll be interesting, man. I think Islam's going to get tagged up a couple times, and we're going to see if he goes to that wrestling pretty quick. But I think JDM's a monster, man. I think I give JDM the slight favor, or the slight nod in that one.
My official prediction is Islam Makhachev. Now, my official method of victory is decision. Very difficult time thinking that Islam could finish Jack. I have too high of a respect for Jack. That Jack that Belal Muhammad had to face not only can beat Islam, he will beat Islam, but I don't know if that Jack can repeat himself, right? I mean, there's times in your career where you fight outside of your gloves. There just are. There's just times where, for whatever reason, and you don't know, and your coaches don't know, and you do your best to recreate that evening. That's the evening that Jack had when he became the world champion.
I think this is really short. For me, I'm going with JDM because my hopes of freeing up the welterweight division to get Sean on track with his win coming up. So I don't want to say I'm being biased, but I truly do believe that, Islam is one of the greatest grapplers as well. I do think that he's a couple steps behind on the striking with JDM and pure boxing. I think that JDM is naturally a bigger man. I think he's going to be heavy. I think his defense is going to be even better from his previous fight with Belal. And Belal is a very good, respected grappler. So I just don't see Islam being able to ragdoll him. I think JDM is going to be able to get him out of there, honestly.
No, the world is going to hate me, but I got to see it. Call it like I see it. I'm going with Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack. I think that for the reasons I'm suggesting, and Jack is young too. If he was like an older fighter, I'd probably say that he wouldn't be able to pick up these new tricks. But when you start teaching a 29-year-old guy a bunch of new tricks, I mean, they're just like a kid in a candy store with this stuff. I think that, him working with Craig for as long as he has been, he's already been a clean boxer. I think that he wins this fight.
I'm high on Jack Della Maddalena at this point. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to pick Jack Della Maddalena in this fight. I do think that, and especially if you're a gambler, he's the champion and Islam's coming up to his division and moving up a weight class, and he's still the underdog in this fight. I think he will get taken down. I just think he does a really, really good job of forcing scrambles in an up a weight class, trying to hold down the bigger guy for extended periods of time. When Jack gets to his feet, he makes you pay. He doesn't hold back. Like, he's very, very good at being in some crazy scrambles, defending takedowns, and then hurting you with great punches, switching stances as well constantly.
In this fight, not just because it's Anzac United, I really think that Jack Della Maddalena has the skills to stifle Islam's game and be able to just put it on the feet and knock him out. Might be second round, might be third, but we'll see. Tune in and find out.
It's just going to come down to Jack's timing, his takedown defense, his wall work, and his ability to keep Islam in punching range without worrying about the takedowns. Because same thing for me, what I did. Islam made me a worse striker because I couldn't plant my feet to throw off combinations and dig down into punches, because I knew if my feet were set and tied down to the ground to land a power shot, that he was going to get on my legs. So the threat of that always in front of you for 25 minutes, it's hard to get off your combinations and get off the power shots you want to, because you know If you miss one of those punches, your legs are going to be exposed and your balance is off. You're going to get taken down. I would think Islam by decision. But if Jack does win, you know, I'm not going to be totally blown away if he lands a shot that hurts Islam or a knee or something. Obviously, if he beats Islam by decision or submits Islam, then I'm going to be blown away. But I got to go with Islam by decision. That's if I was betting on it, that's what I would bet on.
We got to remember, Islam Makhachev was bred for this ever since he was a little boy. There's just something different about him, about his team, about Habib, about Eagle MMA, about Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, the lineage, the heritage, and just the kind of fighting spirit that these men have. Islam Makhachev has been bred for this moment, and he's been in these kind of big moments before. Remember, this is a super fight going down at Madison Square Garden, and this is Jack Della Maddalena's first title defense. On Instagram last week, I said that Jack was going to win, but now I think about it more. I did an episode of my podcast with Paul Felder, and the more I thought about it, the more I started to think that Islam wins this fight.
Obviously, I think Islam will get the takedown, but how long will we be able to hold him down? And we saw that in the first matchup with Alexander Volkanovski. Islam was finding his takedowns, but Alexander Volkanovski found a way to get back up throughout the fight. And it began to kind of settle in to a striking match where both guys were able to score at certain points of the fight. And I don't think you could do that. I don't think you could settle in and have this go into the later rounds. If this was a 3-round fight, I think I'd put my money on Islam. But as it stands as a 5-rounder, I very much am leaning towards JDM in this one.
The next biggest thing, too, is Ilia Topuria want to move up, right, and make something happen. And if Islam wins, we already know that's going to be the fight that they want to make. And we all going to have to wait. We all going to have to, whether it's myself, Kamaru Usman, Ian Garry, Sean Brady, it don't matter. Like, we're going to have to watch Topuria come up, move to 170, and fight Islam. So I'm praying that JDM knock Islam out. My heart wants JDM. My heart do want JDM, you know. Because stylistically, that would be a great fight for me. But my mind is telling me it's going to be Islam, man.
I think that the knees are a big threat for Islam coming from Jack Della Maddalena, but Jack's stance, I think, is going to create big open lanes for Islam to get to that snatch single. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in this fight. That's what leads me to believe that Islam is going to dethrone Jack Della Maddalena. I think Jack Della's size is going to aid him in some of the counter grappling exchanges. I don't see him stuffing the shots of Islam. I do seeing him have situations where he's going to scramble and get back to his feet. Gilbert Burns had a lot of success taking down Jack Della, but Jack Della did a good job with his scrambling ability, maintaining motion when the fight hits the mat. I just don't know if Jack Della is going to be able to maintain that type of motion with Islam, because once Islam takes you down, he's so powerful on top. He's got so much top pressure. I think Della can maybe win a round or two, but I think that the wrestling of Islam is going to lead to him getting his hand raised.
Makhachev has beaten the who's who. He is where he is, and he was pound for pound for very long. Pound for pound king for a very good reason. People think Jack Della is going to be bigger. I don't think so. I've now lately seen, and that's why they did such a long camp, to pick up that weight correctly. And he looks big, and he looks thick, and he looks strong. I mean, no doubt, he's a hard worker. But this one, I think, you know, with Jack Della, I love his style, I love him, I like his personality. I would love for him to win that belt, but unfortunately, I cannot go against Makhachev in this one. I think he is just so good.
Moving around a 170-pound body in practice is way different than moving around a 170-pound body in a fight. And doing it for the first time and then kind of dealing with that fear, that doubt of experiencing that in the fight against a guy like JDM. I don't know. I think it's just going to be different. And the crazy thing about this is, like, everyone's on the Islam Makhachev train right now. And, you know, I think there's more pressure on Islam than there is on JDM. JDM's the guy who has the belt.
Yeah.
So I like JDM in this spot. I think there's a lot of value here. And yeah, I like the numbers. I like JDM. I think Islam Makhachev is an amazing 155-pound fighter. I just don't know if he's an amazing welterweight.
I think JDM's going to get taken down, but I don't think he's going to get held down. I think he's going to be able to scramble get back up to the feet and punish Islam on the feet, I am picking JDM to beat Islam. I just think that, Islam is very good on the ground, but we've seen him not be able to hold guys down, not be able to implement his game plan, and I think JDM's the perfect storm to create those. He's not, when you take him down, he's not just staying there. He's scrambling, he's Gramby rolling, he's presenting submissions, he's using fucking butterfly hooks, and that's all going to throw Islam off his game. And Jack hits super hard, and I think when they get back on the feet, he's going to make them pay.
I'm going to lean obviously towards Islam. But to me, this fight is a lot more dangerous than the Dustin Poirier fight. The only reason why I would, not just because I'm going with him because he's my boy, is that I think the weight cut is not that big of a factor for him. It's not going to kill him in the rounds 4 and 5 like it was when he was fighting at lightweight. He's going to be able to maintain his cardio, his conditioning. Him, when he's fresh, is just insane. And I agree with you 100%. The submissions will be there, and he is fantastic on the ground. I said this years and years ago. In the grappling, I've seen him give world-class black belts nothing but fits and problems. Couldn't sweep him, couldn't get him off of him. He's attacking their submissions, attacking their neck. He's also figured out his position in the guillotines and the darces and the anacondas and the kimuras and the side chokes. He's fantastic, man. I look for him to get the finish sometime around like rounds 2 or 3.
So obviously, I mean, you just need my pick. You know where I'm going. Aussie, right? I'm going to always go to Aussie. Let's see what he's paying. I think he's an underdog too. Ooh, yeah, pretty big underdog. Here with Sportsbet paying $3.16. Islam Makhachev $1.36. So an underdog. You know I'm going to have a bias anyway. And he's the underdog. Whew. For sure. You know, Islam's moving up. People got to remember that. I've always been I'm like with the weight stuff, like I feel when you're that good, it doesn't really matter, I believe. But when you've got someone that's good, that's heavier, that can be a problem. And Jack Della is that good, especially on the feet. He's going to be a problem. So that extra weight, tough as nails.
Honestly, I just think that Islam's takedown offense is going to be more than Jack's takedown defense, and then when it goes to the ground, it's going to be a bad night. But if Jack can avoid some of those spots, there'll be moments for him. If he can make it to the 4th, 5th round, we'll see how Islam's muscle build was going up to a heavier weight class. He said he put weight on. We've seen him in longer fights, obviously fighting for Volkanovski, who probably did the best with him on the ground. But Volkanovski is a little ball of muscle, right? He's short. It's harder to control shorter guys. Jack is longer. So he's going to have a longer torso for Islam to control, a longer torso for him to get on top of. So for me, with this one, I think I'm going to pick Islam in this fight to win it. And if it goes to the ground, I think it'll be a finish.
Islam versus JDM. Okay. I'm going to go with JDM on that one. And the reason being is because I just love that style. Islam is going to be the hardest fight he's ever had in his life.
I just think, like, I'm in a position now to where I want the biggest, most challenging fight out there before, because I understand that I don't have another 20 fights left in the company. So if you can get, and anything can happen. So if you can get that next one, and that next one can be that fight, then that's what I want. And I don't think we've ever seen 2 pound for pound fighters step in there to go at it. And with contrasting styles to where they're both grapplers, to where that can cancel each other out. Yeah, so I think you could kind of guess where I'm leaning towards.
It is hard to try to get like an accurate gauge on what it's going to look like, not knowing how Islam is going to look when he moves up. Okay, it's always the question everybody asks when anybody is moving up a weight division or down a weight division. Okay, there's so many unknowns involved. But saying that, I think that Islam can do everything that Belal does, but way better. Okay, way better. So, and the fight, I thought Jack handedly had the fight, but it was a fight. Okay, so I don't think it'll be an easy fight for Jack, but I believe in Jack. I think he's got that X factor. He's got that hunger there. You know, he's got the ticker, and you know, just like with Belal, just like with Burns before, I think he can do the impossible.
I just think this guy, JDM, he's good at boxing. He's good. The way he was
doing the sweep and he working on his grappling. I think it's going to be a very tough matchup to Islam Makhachev, especially because, like you say, it's not easy to move up divisions. You know, you have to gain a lot of weight, you have to put a lot of muscle, you have to put a lot of strength in training, and I just don't know. I think it's not gonna be an easy fight for both. And if I had to put my money, I would put on JDM.
I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or, you know, he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev, though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, you know, on any day, you know, including Ilia Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have much success against Makhachev. But Della Maddalena looked very, very sharp against Belal. And I wonder what Makhachev would look like as a welterweight, you know, whether he would look as strong and as lean or whether he would look heavier and, you know, potentially gas himself out because he'd be stepping straight into a 5-round fight, wouldn't he?
Size matters. And when you're talking about an extra 15 pounds and you look at, and this is an example, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. Jack's a much bigger human. And Volk gave him a good fight. Do you know what I mean? Volk gave him a very good fight. And then stylistically, when you look at someone like Dustin Poirier and the fight that he gave Islam, that was a very good fight. Like, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Then you add an extra kind of 15 pounds to Jack. And naturally, not like he's not cutting weight type of vibes. I know Islam will have to cut weight, but I just think that size is going to play a huge part, even on the ground. I know how strong people have said Islam is, but I feel like Jack could get it done.
It's gonna be hard. That guy is, he's so good. He looks so good on his last fight. Jack, he's so good. Good boxing, good movement, good defense from the cage, from the wall. He defends very well, and I know Islam. He can change his game plan every round, so that's why I believe he's gonna take him down and just hold him or choke him.
This is a big moment. I'm going to tell you guys right away, I'm picking Islam Makhachev. Now, this is no easy fight. I don't want to make this sound like it's going to be an easy fight, but I want to give you guys my pick. Islam is going to shoot in round 1. I promise you guys that he will shoot in round 1. And if he misses or not, he's going to go up to the judo. He's eventually going to lock his arms or he's going to tie up the upper body. He's going to shoot if JDM sprawls, which I'm sure he will. Makhachev is going to go up to that clinched upper body throws, and he's got phenomenal judo throws. He's going to combine wrestling and judo together, and I think he's going to get the fight to the ground. Maybe not in round 1, but he will eventually get the fight to the ground, and I will tell you that I think that Makhachev can get a submission. Absolutely.
JDM. It's Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev, and I'm going with Jack Della Maddalena, dude. So if Makhachev wins, he's the GOAT. That's my point. If Makhachev wins, I actually am ready to call him the GOAT of the sport. 28-1. His one loss was to Martins. He got chinned. JDM's lost his first 2 fights of his career, of course. But I think Makhachev would be the GOAT of the sport if he pulls this off. That's how much I rate JDM.
I think JDM wins. I think he's really big and he's really talented, and I think that you saw just how good he is against a wrestler. And obviously Islam is a much better all-around fighter, but this is his first fight at 170 pounds, and that's a big jump from 155. And look, nothing would surprise. Islam's one of the best, if not the best fighters in the world. Nothing would surprise me, but I feel like people are sleeping on JDM. He's such an interesting character. He's like just so calm, cool, and collected. I don't feel like he gets fazed by anything.
Islam is a natural 170. I've been around this guy multiple times. He is damn near 6 foot. He looks like he's 200 pounds out of fight camp, and that's what most 170 guys are. 6 foot to 6'2", and they walk around 195 to 200 pounds. But Islam, you see him in his pictures now. He looks just as shredded as he does at 155. He's talked about it in the past that cutting to 155, trying to recover in 24 hours and fight 5 rounds. He said he's max at 60% of his strength and power when it comes to recovering after weight cuts. Now, I mean, I think we're going to see a whole new monster in Islam Makhachev. I really would love to see Jack put one on his lips, boom, and put him out. I would love it, and I'm hoping that happens. But I think Islam Makhachev is going to get on top, put him in half guard, and probably submit him, unfortunately.